Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Cookies. My name is Lindsay, and it's going to be a fabulous day. We're so excited that you're joining us. Coffee and Cookies is a show about life, leadership, how we can be better, parenting, positivity, best of all, and lots of tangents and laughter. So join us this morning. Grab your coffee and your cookies, because everybody needs a little dessert before they get their day started. And join us. Today's show is sponsored by Rookie.io, reputation management to complete the digital marketing foundation. Learn more at www.ruci.io. Wow, had a moment there, Nick. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for joining us today on Coffee and Cookies. Good morning, Taylor. Happy good morning to you. It's Wednesday.
It is Wednesday.
It is hump day. That is like the best commercial ever. Like, I don't care how old you are. When you see that commercial, like, it's just stuck with you.
Do you ever feel weird saying it, though?
No.
I do.
No.
Like, I feel like I'm saying something naughty.
Unless you're in front of a lot of kids, because they might not get it.
Yeah.
So we have a guest here.
We
we have 2 days straight of guests today. Dun 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 dun. You all should feel special. We love you.
We are. Oh, is that my cue to
Yes.
intro him in? Okay. We are so excited to welcome back Troy Scheer.
Good morning, brother. How you
Good morning,
doing?
Good morning. Doing well. How you guys doing today?
Doing good. We've already had we've already had some great conversations, and we're gonna do a little split screen action real quick. We're gonna go boop, 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 boop. There we go. How do we do? Oh, they got it right. Yes, win. All right, we're all on camera now. We've had some very interesting conversations. So one, I just want to say thank you for joining us on our show this morning, and being flexible with your schedule.
Hey,
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Life is about flexibility, right?
Because we had him scheduled like a couple weeks ago, actually, and
We did.
had to reschedule him.
Because Nick got knocked down. Nick got knocked down. So good morning, Taylor. Good morning, Rosalie. Good morning, sweet wife Amber. Good morning, Nolan. Man, we got a lot of guests already going on this morning.
Yay.
I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna step away for a second. So I'm
Okay.
gonna let you two chit chat. I'm gonna fix something.
Good morning, Troy.
He's gonna come
Okay,
take care of
yeah.
my hair, hair and makeup, right?
I love it. That was supposed to be beforehand. I'm just saying. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Taylor. I did do an amazing job on that intro. Nick actually was like open fish mouthed at me like when I was doing it. It was
You
pretty
did good. You've gotten so good at intros. I am so proud of you. So here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready? Troy, you have a podcast.
I do.
You do. How's it going?
It is actually going well. You know, I think I was just looking out. I'm at the 60th episode. Will be finishing up today. Later today, and posting. You know, so I hit my 50 a few weeks ago, and just everything's expanding. So you know, I've obviously been in the auto industry in the last 4 years, but marketing has always been my big umbrella. So I'm really expanding the guest list so that we have more diversity in terms of topics and being able a little bit broader in terms of the audiences we can reach. So it's been
Absolutely.
a lot of fun. Reading books, and it's amazing. It kind of started off with the whole traction thing that we talked about last time. Reading books, and then you reach out to the authors, and they're like, "Oh, I'd love to." So it's like it's amazing. Again, well, as we talk about, when you give a little to somebody, what they will, how they will reciprocate in return.
Let's actually have that conversation. So this is a conversation that we had offline, but before you guys got here, we were talking about relationships and how with the new privacy laws, it's going to become harder for companies to data mine you per se, unless of course they get an app on your phone. That really hasn't changed, which is why I believe that's the direction that things are going in. But on a personal level, how important it is to actually have a relationship with someone, not just have a transaction, not connect with someone just to sell them, or not connect with someone just to get something out of them.
Exactly. No, it's and we talked a little bit earlier. It's what you give and what you will receive from giving is a lot more than what you will receive from just trying to get.
There
We
you go.
don't give to get. Don't give to get.
No.
That's not the goal.
And, as we talked about from a business perspective, and this is something that I've been seeing and really looking into is, as we talked about automation and data mining and all those things, and how do How do we reach the people and how do we segment them? And, you know, we obviously all want a more personalized experience with the businesses that are marketing to us. But what the businesses forget is why are they doing it? You know, are they just trying to, again, get something from you? It's the mentality of, okay, let's just use all these new shiny objects and find ways to get as much information from people so that we can interrupt them and sell them and do all of this, instead of thinking about, okay, now we've got this technology that we can gather information from people, but how are we going to use it? And I say it's just like you would with a spouse or a, you know, significant other, or your kids or whatever, a good friend. You want to have as much information as possible about that person, but it's not so you can go, okay, what can I get from them with this information? It's, okay, how do I now take the information that I have about this person, their likes, their dislikes, their needs, their, you know, pain points, and all the things that they have in life, and make it better for them, not take from them.
And there you go, right? Provide a solution. But I think, and especially in marketing, is you get so many people who try to shotgun approach it, that they're like, oh, I have this solution and everyone needs it. Instead of going, oh, I have this solution, let me take the time now to define who is this actually going to serve? Who's this actually going to solve an issue for? Because when you shotgun it, that's what you get. You get this transactional relationship where if I have a solution and I'm able to go, okay, the people who have this issue, come over here, come join my community, and let me provide this solution for you.
Matt just made a really good point that relationships are about the relation because it's in the name.
Right.
Just, you know.
Right.
Otherwise,
of
they'd
course.
be transaction chips.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, and let's take this a step further, right? This is not just on the marketing side. This is inside your household.
Completely.
This is inside the workspace, right? Like, if you're a leader of a team, are you just teaching? Are you just elevating them to delegate to them? Are you just elevating them to dump something off onto them, right? Or are you elevating them because you actually care about their growth?
That's not elevation. That's training.
Otherwise, it all boils back to your why. Why are you doing something? And I mean, we've seen that, but it's the why. Why am I trying to help you grow? Is it just to benefit me, or is it truly to benefit you as from a leadership perspective, from a business perspective? The same thing. And like I said, I look at, and I try to tell people that I consult with from a marketing perspective is, do the things that you do in your personal life. Think about what is the most effective, and where are you getting and giving the most value, and take that mindset and bring it back into your business. Don't just be, as you said, okay, I've got a solution now, so everybody should want it. Well, there's no way that what you do, no matter who it is, that everybody's going to benefit from it.
There you go.
So you've got to understand, again, then it's reaching out and getting information and being able to go and share, hey, here's what we see, here are things that we're seeing in the business world, in the your personal space, whatever, is here's what we're seeing. How will this affect you? Is there a way we can improve it? And that's why it takes that relationship and communication, and not just a single sale, to keep really building. Because we always talk about, from a marketing perspective, and you think about this just in relationship as well, the lifetime value. You know, if you've got a relationship that only lasts 6 weeks, well, there wasn't a whole lot of lifetime value in that.
There's not.
Whether it be business or personal. So it's really thinking big picture about how long do you want to have that relationship, whether it be business or personal. Focus on that, and then use the tools that you have at your disposal to gather the information and be able then to personalize an experience to somebody.
Absolutely.
Because you know this is what they need. But again, when you personalize that experience, it doesn't mean just spam them with every kind of offer.
Oh, man.
You know, because that just is like, okay, thank you.
Well, and case in point, right? LinkedIn. There's a program out there called Seamless.ai. And you can say, I want to send out 350 messages a day on LinkedIn. And boy, I am on so many people's lists. Just like if you put business owner on LinkedIn, your messages will explode with, and it's everyone offering, like, did you even read my profile? Like, I own a marketing agency. I don't need your SEO services. I own a marketing agency. If I need it, if I don't know how to drum up business for my own agency, I probably don't need to be a marketing guy. Okay.
Is this hitting a nerve with you, Nick?
It is, because that's what I get. Oh, we can help you get 3 to 5 more clients. Did you read my profile? Like, I don't need your services.
Well, you know what's the most fun with that?
Oh, go ahead.
Is to put up a phony website.
Oh my gosh!
Just a URL, and then you get the response back of we've checked out your website and blah blah blah. You know, they start. I'm like, there's.
Did you?
Yeah,
Did you?
There's
Did
nothing.
you?
There's nothing there.
You got an error page.
But that's it though, right? Like, okay, I got this message from, and we spoke of this. Her name is Donna. Okay, she messaged me on LinkedIn, but she calls it out. She's like, hey, I'm going to message you. This is exactly what I'm doing. This is what I do. If you're interested, then we can have a conversation. But she didn't push. It wasn't a hard sell push.
And she made it funny, right?
She made it funny. It was witty.
She's like, you're the lucky winner.
Right? It was so well written. And I sit there and I go, you want to know what? Even though I will never use this person's services, I'm so glad I connected with them on LinkedIn. So glad, because this is a witty person.
Well, and you had a key word there to me is conversation.
There's a conversation. Absolutely.
So if you want to connect with Nick, you just got to make fun.
You have to be funny.
Be funny. Or
have to be
make fun
funny.
of him.
No,
not make fun of him.
No, don't do that. That will just get you. That'll just get you ignored. You know, it's so funny because here's why. Like when you listen to Jim Carrey and you listen to a lot of these big actors, you know, and a lot of these very successful people. I watched the thing and Jim Carrey was talking to this guy and this guy was disagreeing with him and the guy's just like, you're right. Like, it's not worth my time. At my hourly rate, it is not worth my time to try to convince you that you're wrong. Mm-hmm. I've told you you're wrong. If you're going to rebuttal that, then you're right. Like, it's not worth it anymore.
No, you have to have that and the ability on both sides to have that conversation. And I think that's the key, because without that, again, you're just pushing.
There you go. You are.
Just had a thought.
I can tell.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You're that blinking light that does nothing. When you are spamming people, that is interruption marketing. Just FYI, spam, cold emails, cold messages, that's called interruption marketing. And if you don't have your audience dialed in, all you're going to get is a lot of negativity. And you have to understand that that's not just you as an individual that you're getting that negativity. It's the brand you represent that's getting that negativity. Okay? So you have to be aware of that. If you're a marketer or you own a brand, Nick, just give him the look. Rosalie, I'm just going to call you in. Everyone that cold calls me, I'm just going to be like, hey, you have to talk to Rosalie first and see if you survive.
I like this idea.
Yeah. Right? Go ahead. Your idea. Go.
Oh, it clicked in my brain that people that don't really care about the relationship that they're trying to build with either that client or the friend or the colleague or whoever it is, they're just pushing their own agenda.
Completely.
Yes. Now let's go the other direction on this. Marketing is exactly that. Marketing is, I want to sell you something, right?
It shouldn't be.
Go ahead.
Again, it should be, I want to know what value I can provide to you. That's the real, because if you have that, then you're not pushing, you're actually attracting people.
And
what solution do we bring?
There
It's
you
not-
go.
It's not about how many sales can I get, how many solutions can I provide?
And when you provide solutions, then all of a sudden you have people go, oh, and that's where when you start talking about referrals and that kind of thing, when you've done something great for somebody, they'll share it.
Absolutely, they will.
And it may take longer. And I think the issue is, and it's just our society as a whole, as we keep going, is our patience and our wanting to have things immediately has gotten worse and worse and worse on both sides of things. So it becomes a situation where nobody wants to put the work in. I mean, all of the automated and, artificial intelligence, the data, all of those things are great, but you still have to put the work in up front. There's a lot of time that goes into really understanding how to use those tools. Mm-hmm. Like, I always go back to the simple, hey, I'm building a house. Okay, well, what are you going to show up out there with just a bunch of lumber and guys with nails and hammers and, shingles here and there and hope, okay, well, we're going to get something? No, you have to have that blueprint built. And that doesn't happen in 24 hours.
No.
Because it requires not only the design and understanding all the technical aspects of it, but you've got to work with your client too and go, what do you want? How do what I'm doing, is it going to make because that's a generally a long-term investment.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely it is.
So it's why, what do you want? How do I provide value to you? And when you have that, then all of these other tools now become effective because you've already established an understanding of what you're trying to accomplish for your customer.
But with that, and I think this is where marketing and maybe even sales go the wrong direction. This is why the discovery call is so important. But the discovery calls should not be a sales call. The discovery call should be, is the service that I offer, is the product that I offer a fit for this individual? And I've done a lot of discovery calls. Why? Because I wanted to learn more about them. So when I say it, is like, I will sign up to have a discovery call from another person's service, and you can always feel it, right? You can feel when that person gets on the phone. Great. Is there some laughter? Is there some personalities or some personal points to this? And then, okay, is this the right fit? And if it's not, then hey, you're not the right fit. One of the best discovery calls I've ever had was the one that didn't happen. And what it was is I went through, I filled out the little worksheet. It said, you're not our perfect prospect. Here's a list of 3 other companies that you should reach out to. And I'm sitting here going, how awesome is that? Like they didn't even get on the phone with me. Like they're being efficient with their time. Mm-hmm. But then they said, we're not the right company for you. Instead of just saying, no, sorry, too bad. We're not the right company for you. Here's 3 other companies you should reach out to. I'm just like, man, how awesome would that be if we did that? Oh, you want to know what? Your website's on point. Your social media is on point. You really don't need our services. You need this company's services because they focus on this need that you have. And hey, when you do, if you want to name drop, you can, but you don't have to, right? Like how much care does that give? And I guarantee you that person, when that happens, they're gonna be like, oh, well, I'm not, it's dumbfounding to me that if that were to when that happens, it's such a rare occurrence that sticks to you. You're like, I will never forget that company now because they put me on the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
They were giving. It wasn't, let's see what I can get out of this prospect.
They weren't trying to sell you. Even if they knew you weren't the right person or they weren't the right company for you, it wasn't about getting your money. It was about finding you a solution. How many times do I got to say this? Solutions, 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 solutions.
It's what we're all looking for. You know, when you think about it, whether it be in business or we're always looking for solutions to problems because the problems seem to come up.
No matter what you do, it's going to come up.
They're there, so you might as well, embrace it. But from a human standpoint, again, whether in business or personal, it's like if you can come with that mindset,
mm-hmm.
you're going to be far better. But again, it's because we're everybody wants everything immediately.
Mm-hmm.
That it's really hard. We go, man, am I going to drop this revenue for? How can I force this?
Right,
this square peg in a round hole kind of thing.
Yes.
And then
Sean says, "Say it one more time, Lindsay."
Solutions.
How's that in stereo, right?
Solutions. Yes.
Taylor, great points. Sean, what can I offer you without wasting your time? That's the whole idea of a website, though. Right.
But what's happened is, again, this is just a personal opinion, so take it for what it is. But there has been so much of people just trying to force things down people's throats that when you do get on the phone and say, hey, I just want to have a conversation, they're like, yeah, whatever. They have been burned already so much that it's already in a kind of a reflex
of saying no.
Yeah.
It's funny because I will get cold calls. And I will very gently let these people down. Like, listen, I've done cold calls. I know where you're at. I understand the stress that you're going through right now. I am not going to be rude to you, but please put me on your do not call list. And I didn't used to be that nice. That is from Gary Gregory, is Mr. Super Fantastic. He was
Who's in California right now.
He is. So, when we have guests on here, I'm listening just as much as y'all are. Okay.
But he's secretly taking notes.
I am always taking notes. But with that, like I've actually gotten like people like, thank you. Like this has been the best call I've had today. you know, and then other people, they'll still push the sales. They'll still push the sale. And I'm like, listen, I just told you I've done this. I'm being very nice right now. Do you want me to go the other direction? And normally, because it's someone that's not from this country, that then they'll stop. As I start to put my foot down, then they'll stop, because that's exactly what's happened. We've been cold called so many times. We've had so many ads pushed in front of us that are not relevant to anything in our lives. I don't need to. Oh my goodness. This is how I know a company does not do their targeting right. When I get ads about dating. Okay.
Amber, we need to chat.
I'm telling you right now, Google knows I am married. Facebook knows I am married. There is not a single social media profile or there's nothing out there. Even LinkedIn knows I'm married. So when I have an ad that targets me for dating, something is wrong. Whoever's running your ads has no clue what they're doing. And now and at the end of the day, you're wasting money. That's fine. But that's it though, right? Like, I don't want to see that. I don't need to know this.
You know, I get called most often on my personal phone by anybody. Any guesses? One entity calls me the most.
I don't know.
The sheriff's office.
Someone's got jokes this morning. Yeah, no.
He's in the house. Look out.
Social Security Administration calls me on my phone number the most. And I'm
They definitely do not.
I am not your perfect prospect. You're going to have to wait a long time for that.
Oh my goodness. And it's so interesting the direction that things are going, because as people get data mined, you have to make sure you maintain that relationship, you know? And yes, AI is great, but at some point in time, I don't want to talk to the chat bot. I want to talk to a human.
Well, and that's what it boils down. When you start losing humanity in what you're doing, because no matter what industry you're in, what you're from a business perspective, what you're selling or whatever, it's still human to human interaction. At some point, you're going to want to pick up the phone and talk to somebody or do whatever. And it's how much do you know about me, so that once I do have to get on and have that conversation, that I can feel like you actually have an understanding of who I am as your customer and what potential problems might be.
Absolutely.
And that's what I always find funny. We talk about, people who call or send ads. There's nothing worse to me than, you're a customer of a phone company and they keep sending you ads to sign up with them. I'm like, really?
Right. Like, I'm in your database as a customer.
I'll be obviously I'm not that important if you can't even get that figured out.
And some of you might be like, oh, well, that's a data thing. It's so hard. I'll tell you right now, I've worked in Salesforce. I've worked in some of these big CRMs. There are people that get paid lots of very high salaries to make sure that data is correct. So don't give the big companies excuses.
Well, and if it's not, there's no reason for it. That's the thing, is I see a lot where there's, disparate data points and things and that's one of the big things now is, in a lot of people that in the marketing industry, people that I talk with a lot, that's one of the keys, is how do we get this all together so that there is a single point of data for each individual, so that you really do know who they are and what they're about, and getting as much information as you can, but again, to provide solutions for them and to help them and create a true relationship, not just a sell. And I think that one of the things we talk about with that is, because of where privacy laws and things are coming, eventually it's going to be where you as an individual can get on and go, I don't want you having my data. You can opt out of it. You can change it. You can do all these things. And that's coming with the, and I don't know the exact act, Graham-Bliley Act.
Okay.
So, there are things coming. This is something we've talked about, especially in the auto industry, but it's going to impact every industry. And it's like, if I feel like you're using my data just to interrupt and to sell me, I'm like, yeah, get it out of there. So that's
right.
Again, if you think about long term, why developing a relationship with a customer is so important, because eventually they're going to have the freedom to say, I don't want you bothering me.
Right. Well, so my wife and I are looking at getting another vehicle, and we're looking at Lincoln. And one of the things that Lincoln has done really well, if you go to the Cowboys training center, that little area, and I'm having, I can't remember what the name of it. The Star. Like, you can go in and you can have the Lincoln experience. You can look at the vehicle. You can test drive the vehicle. They're going to give you coffee. They're going to give you water. I take my kids. They give my kids snacks. At the end of the day, they're just introducing you to Lincoln, right? There's an experience there. They have events upstairs on the second floor. They have art events. They have taste testings. They have all kinds of stuff. And all they're doing is creating an experience, a relationship with you. Do I allow them to have my information? Absolutely. Why? Because I love their art. When they have art stuff go up, it's always a great experience. But now with that, when you buy a Lincoln now, and I don't know this with everyone else, but when you buy a Lincoln, you actually get discounts to certain venues. You get free parking at certain venues. If you have to bring it in for repair or something, they've gone down the Mercedes and BMW route. Hey, here's a loaner. Right. And they're really working on that relationship, because they know if you have a great relationship with Lincoln, you're never going to leave.
Nick is getting sold, Matt, for sure. Totally getting sold by Lincoln.
Yeah, you want to know what? I've never owned a Lincoln.
Because of the relationship.
And that's it. That's it. I have opted in. I have given you Lincoln, my information, and I enjoy the experience I have.
Yeah.
I also love their Navigator. I love the Navigator.
So, Nick,
it's so pretty.
I figured out why they keep targeting you with dating apps, even though you're married. Ready?
Okay. Goodness.
It's because people are identifying as certain things, right? He, she, they, whatever. And they're so confused. So maybe they're thinking that you're going to be confused on whether or not you're married.
They're just covering all the bases. Right?
Oh my gosh.
Wasn't that
Lindsay, that was so cringe. I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you for doing that.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Quick, gold star.
Oh, that's it. Lindsay's done. Lindsay, you don't have to
Mic
work the
drop.
rest of the
Yeah,
day. You're just
I'm
good.
done. Yes.
You're just good.
You just earned a day off.
You just earned a day off with that. The fact that you said that just earned you. So in all truthfulness, so we have this client, right? And on LinkedIn, you can now say he, she, it, whatever, right? And he walked in here. He said, if the person that I am prospecting needs to know that answer, they're not my perfect prospect. And I died laughing.
Yeah.
Like, how true is that? How true is that? If you are, and understand who this individual is, like, you're dropping a couple $1,000 easily with one visit with him. Okay. And he's like, no, my people, my educated people know who they are. If you have to define it that way, and what they are, if you have to define this, you're not my perfect prospect. And sure enough, like, he was standing right here. He was standing right here when he said it. He had the door cracked open. He was leaning up against it. And I just remember dying laughing. When he did it, you know, and it's, if you know who you are, you don't need the pronoun to define you. You know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm for me, it's like just if you want to think whoever you want to think I am. I mean, I'm open. Hey, you know, it's like
I'm open.
You know, it's one of those things where it's.
Oh, so that's not a hill I'm going to die on. You know.
No, it's not worth it. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
So ridiculous.
Maybe they're just thinking you're confused. That was my
I'm
point.
definitely not confused. Have you met one? I'm not confused. I promise you that. Mm-hmm. So with that, I mean, let's go down. Go ahead. What were you gonna say? Go ahead.
I was just watching you. He's like, okay, how do we get back?
How do we get back on topic? That's how you know he has a podcast. When he's like, oh,
I know what
I've been there. I've done that.
I'm looking at you going, okay.
Here we go.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's go a little bit over. So, audience, we're gonna go. We can't.
No, because we have a meeting after this. I have Pastor
all
Keith's
right.
mastermind after this.
Okay.
I'm
All
booked.
right. Well,
so you want to know
y'all,
what? You get a bonus 5 minutes. Go.
Oh, well, I can't. It's not 5 minutes. It's not a 5-minute topic, Nick.
So at the end of the day, Troy brought over this great topic, and we haven't even hit it yet.
No, we know. I mean, really, We did. I mean, it's everything that we've talked about. It's, give.
It's give.
Don't look.
There
think
you
about
go.
what you can. I mean, if you want to just sum it up into a very, easy to give, be more concerned about what you give than what you get. And if you have that mentality, again, whether it's personal or in business, it may take a little bit, but the profits and what you will see from it, not only financial profits but relational profits, in the long run, are worth it.
I think that's why Chick-fil-A does so well.
And why people are willing. This is interesting. I'll just quick aside here, but there was a thing we did for Digital Dealer a year or so back, where that was actually the topic that we spoke on and what they were doing and how to build your brand the way they do. And we found out that I forgot what percentage of their customer base said they would be willing to spend almost 30% more,
Absolutely,
on their product. Just because of the experience.
Just to get the Chick-fil-A experience.
Yeah. So think about that in the relationship and the experience, just like Nick's talking about with the Lincoln. It's about experience. And that's one thing I would say too, just kind of in closing, is that don't get so focused on all of the artificial intelligence and the metaverse and all of these kind of things, because and this is something I've been talking to people too over the last few months, is their calendars are filling up with things to do, but it's not sitting inside.
There you go.
It's getting out to the park. It's getting out to see sports. It's getting to actually live and interact with human beings again.
What does that look like?
But I mean, face to face and doing that kind of thing. So it's like, just think about all those things as you're using these digital tools, and make sure they're tools, not your purpose.
There you go. Oh, that's good. Your tool. It's a tool. It's not a purpose. Now, I'm gonna put a pin in this, and I'm gonna segue just a smidge here. When we're talking about this, we are talking about giving. I am not talking about being taken advantage of.
Oh, completely.
Okay. So yes, you're going to give. Yes, you're going to create a relationship. Make sure it's a reciprocated relationship, or it eventually becomes a paid for relationship, right? And when I say that, I mean a paid for service or a paid for product. Okay. Now that's where marketing comes in. The whole idea of marketing is to get to a sale, but to create a relationship through the sale, and then to create a relationship as you service the sale. Okay. There are a lot of people, especially if you're a consultant, if you're a coach, if you're doing a lot of time trade for a service, that will take advantage of your giving, and they will always ask for more. You give them an inch, they take a yard. Be aware of that. Be aware of that, because that is not your perfect prospect. And hear me on this, okay? When they're doing that, they're not valuing the relationship themselves, and they're not valuing your time. Okay? So yes, give. You want to know what? I will give you a free 30-minute marketing consultation. Okay. And I will either say, great, one, I'll give you a checklist, go do it yourself, give it to another marketing agency, or have us do it. But let me help you provide a solution. Now you call back, you're like, Nick, I want another free hour of your time. No, because now you're not being intentional about the relationship either. You're just taking advantage of my giving. Okay. So there is a balance point to this. And I need to make sure, because we do have a lot of entrepreneurs that are within our, that are watching. Okay. And I want to make sure that they understand that we're not telling them just give, because at the end of the day, you still have to pay. You still have a house to pay for. You have a family to feed. You have people to take care of, and you need to make sure that you are blessing others with the money that you are receiving.
Completely. I'm not saying with give, that doesn't mean be overtaken by parasites and just let them, because then eventually they suck the life out of you and you've got nothing more to give anyway.
I'm going to use that. That is so
Say it
true.
one more time.
I come up with really good stuff when I'm talking to Nick. I think I just need to kind of, it's like some of the thoughts that hit me.
Incubator room.
Oh, I'm telling you, I just need to start just taking you around with me.
We would have fun.
I'm much smarter when.
Thank you for that. Thank you. I'm laughing, but thank you for those kind words.
No,
I receive that.
In all seriousness, it's like and this is like we were talking about a while ago, doing some things that we were reviewing together. It's like when you have good people and good intentions and good, it just helps elevate you in many ways.
I'm honored by those words. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Very welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome too.
It's funny because if I go back, and we're going to do an extra 2 minutes now, if I go back to our first conversation, you and I were, it was like watching like a ping pong or a volleyball match, right? Because it was just the dialogue between us was just so great. You want to know what? We might need to start another show. I want to start another show.
Nick,
I love being on camera. I know.
I know you do.
Lindsay's like, when are you gonna have this?
Put it on the dream board.
So what we should call it, dumber and dumb and dumber getting smarter and smarter. Is that?
Dumb and Dumber getting smarter and smarter.
Podcast. The Dumb and Dumber Getting Smarter and Smarter podcast. You want to know what? That is actually freaking hilarious.
That's great.
I would listen to that. I'd be like, what? This is so ridiculous. I got to listen to this. Matt, if we start this podcast, you're coming on. Just letting you know, like, you're going to have to be on that one.
Yeah.
So is he the dumber, or smarter? That's the question.
He's actually pretty smart. He's pretty smart. I'm going to give him the smartness. Nolan's probably the smartest one of us all. He's my mechanical engineer friend, and it's just he's crazy smart.
I love surrounding myself with smart people because it's like, then I'd learn more.
Oh, absolutely. That's actually why I'm going to Pastor Keith's mastermind this afternoon. It's so funny. I've been in other masterminds, and I'm like easily the top 10% of the room. I go into that mastermind, I'm in the bottom 20. Like I realize I have so much room to grow. And that's where you want to be. Those are the rooms that you want to be in.
It should that stuff should energize you. When
Oh,
you go,
yes.
oh wow, I've got all this I can still learn.
Right?
Awesome.
It's so funny that the last session I had 9 pages of notes. And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at the other people that are surrounding me during this mastermind. No one's taking notes. No one. We're here for 4 hours. You're not taking notes? Are you kidding me? I cannot wait till I go on a speaking tour. And when I'm on the speaking tour, I'm going to ask the audience, if you have your phone out, stand up. And we're going to watch all kinds of people stand up. Then I'm going to say, great. Those of you that are taking notes on your phone, stay standing. And the people that are left standing, I'm going to say this to the entire audience, those are the people that are going to succeed. Those are the people that are going to be millionaires, because those are people that are taking intentional time, not to just listen to me,
To engage.
but to engage and write down their takeaways that they can now implement into their own lives. And I have no doubt that is going to boost the confidence of so many people, because it's true. The true individuals are the note takers. Watch them. The people that are taking notes beyond belief, watch them, because what they're doing is they're creating a document that they can go back and reread. They're creating a document that they can go back and research to take and elevate their lives to the next level. Now, I'm not saying that to boost my own ego here. I'm telling you that because you need to be aware of this. When we're in service and Pastor Keith or Pastor Josh are speaking, who's taking notes? Who's taking real notes, right? Just be aware of it.
Or you want to hear something on that point? I mean, we talked
Yes.
about my podcast. Every time that I finish and go back and I'm doing the post-production and getting those things done, I go back and watch the whole thing and take notes. Even though it's like I was there and engaging with in the conversation, and I've got my podcast notebook that I just keep everything
Right.
so that I can go back and study and learn. And because a lot of times people too will give book ideas, or whatever the case may be. But I learned so much that way, and it's like now I've got it all in one place that I can go back and study and share and use it as points to help go. Okay, well, I don't know a lot about this. I'm going to study it and learn.
And what it's going to eventually turn into, you're going to publish that. That's going to be your book. That's going to be your book. And what you're going to do is it's not all going to be about you. It's going to be, here's my takeaway. Go learn more here. And now what you've done is you become a focal point of data, of great data, because like you said, your 50 podcasts, that's 50 interviews. That's 50 great people, 2 of which are in this room, that you've got to interview.
I love that. That was good.
Right. But here we go. Right. Like you could actually create your own mastermind now and create your own book and start to publish that book and go on your own speaking tours. I could totally see you on stage. Absolutely. Is that something you want to do?
If it comes about, it's not something that I'm just craving to do necessarily, but I've never been one of, if I'm offered something to go, nah, I'm like, why not?
No thanks.
I'm one that if somebody asks me to do something, I go, yeah, and then I'll figure out how to make it happen.
You want to know what? So we're going to end this episode because we're at 10 minutes over right now. But let's talk about you publishing a book when we get done. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Yes, I said ladies and gentlemen and boys and girls, and Disney needs to just get back to saying that. I almost said something really, really mean.
Positive show.
I know. Positive show, right?
It's in the description.
It's in the description. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, where are you on your big three? It's Wednesday. You're getting number 2 done today. Get number 2 done today. Get it done. Get it done. And here's why. You know, Friday, I'm going to tell you to leave early. Why am I going to tell you to leave early? Because you need to spend time with your family. You need to spend time with your kids. You need to spend time with you, on you, making yourself better. Maybe go listen to some Is it Eric Thomas?
Eric Thomas.
Eric Thomas. Go listen to some Dr. Billy Alsbrooks. You want to know what? Go listen to some Pastor Keith. Okay. Go listen to some of his other sermons, some of his older sermons. And if you're not a singer like me, I'm not a big singer. Skip through all the music and just listen to the sermon. Okay. Just hop through the singing part. That's an Amber thing.
I would say not to, because it actually helps prepare your heart to hear what Pastor Keith is going to say.
There you go. See, and that's 2 sides of the coin. I love it. So we love you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in this morning. If you're watching this on Facebook, thank you guys for liking and being in the comments. That's how we know you're here. That's how we know to pray for you. If you're on YouTube, thank you guys for being in the comments. That's how we know that you're here and how to pray for you. If you're watching this on the podcast, come join us on Facebook. Come join us on YouTube. I know I put the links in the descriptions, so come join us over there. Troy, thank you for being another guest with us today and dropping gold. Just dropping gold today. Do we get to have you on again?
Of course.
Outstanding. All right. So you guys, we love you guys. Make sure that you
rise up
and crush it.
Bye y'all.